I have a number of free training programs on my YouTube channel. Now, they're solid training programs, they're based on solid training principles. However, there's nothing magical about them. In this video, I'm going to discuss a mistake that every guy makes, including myself. Now, in fact, I wasted many years of training by making this same mistake. That mistake is chasing the magical training program. It doesn't exist. For me, I started off with starting strength. I then moved on to the Texas method, which was absolutely brutal, to be honest. I got nothing out of that training program. I then moved on to 5-3-1, the Juggernaut method, then Candido's 6-week training program, and then I started to design my own training programs from there. However, I was never satisfied. I always felt like my program was missing that magical exercise or that magical rep range or certain intensifiers like myo reps or drop sets or cluster sets. So I changed my program regularly. Now, the principle of variation is important. It helps you avoid stagnation and helps you drive on further adaptation. However, it's a principle that's abused by many guys. If you want to make real gains, you don't need to keep changing your program month to month or trend to trend. If you're stalling out that often, it's usually down to either poor programming, your training, or lifestyle factors, or a combination. Changing your program or program hopping every month is probably one of the worst approaches you can take because you can't accurately track progressive overload. Was the adaptation actually because you got increases in muscle growth, or was it just you got better coordinated at new exercise within your training program? To compound things further, when you take other training variables like your weekly training split, your sets, your reps, your exercise order, your rest periods, if you're constantly shuffling them up on a weekly or a monthly basis, it's going to make it even harder to track progress. If you see a massive improvement in some of your lifts, it's going to be really hard to know what made those adaptations happen because you've changed so many variables at once. Conversely, if you start to see a performance decrepitment, again, it's going to be hard to know what caused that negative decrepitment because you've changed so many things. There's just too many things going on at once. So what's the solution? I'm going to give a free program at the end of this video, so stick around till then. However, you want to pick a program that ticks off a number of factors. First and foremost, you want the program to suit your training age. So if you are a new lifter, then a single or double progression model will work well in the beginning, okay? This is when you're adding weight or reps to the barbell each session. You don't need a sophisticated training program. You don't need lighter sessions within the week. You don't need to plan blocks of training. You don't need deloads. Literally just start adding weight and reps to the barbell, and that's a nice simple solution to get you going. Next, the program needs to suit your schedule and your lifestyle. Okay, now I've talked about this before on the channel. Now you may want to train 4 or 5 times per week, but if your schedule only allows for 3 because of work, family, and other responsibilities, then stick with the 3 sessions and then just get to work. We know consistency is king, so be smart here with your decision. The program should also fit in with your injury history. The biggest predictor of injury is a previous injury. So for example, say you have something with your knee, you have a tendon issue, and being in that deep flex position just aggravates it further, then maybe deep squats and deep leg press and things like that are probably not going to be the best. You can modify the training program. Maybe you could go for a higher box squat. Maybe you could leg press, but just limit your range of motion so you're not going into that pain. You might actually do some heavy slows, which actually is really great for tendon loading from that point of view. So be smart with your exercise selection here. You want to pick ones that you enjoy, you can do well, and you're going to get great stimulus from and you can recover from. Finally, the program should help you accomplish your goals. So be clear here with what you're trying to achieve and make sure the content in your program matches the goal that you're trying to achieve. Changing things up for physical and mental benefit is important over time. However, it's not essential to keep changing your program constantly. Provided you're on point with your programming, your training, and lifestyle factors outside the gym, you can be successful running the same program over a long period of time. In fact, I challenge you to stick to the same program for a minimum of 12 weeks. Don't change a single thing. Don't change the exercises. Don't change the sets or reps. Just stick with it for the 12 weeks, apply progressive overload to it, and make sure you're progressing over those 12 weeks. And I guarantee you'll be well on your way to achieving some great results. I have a free training program up on screen just now that can be done 2 times per week. If you wanted to do it 3 times per week, just alternate the sessions each gym session. The video that accommodates this program is on screen just now, so if you want to know more, you can click on that video. If you have any questions on today's video, fire a comment below. Thanks for watching.